Did Jungkook and Taehyung secretly plan to leave HYBE? What really happened behind their emotional live that sent shockwaves through the fandom? Watch until the end, share your thoughts, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more explosive BTS updates. Because what you're about to read might change everything you thought you knew about BTS and HYBE. Started with silence. A silence that felt heavier than words, charged with emotion, and echoing louder than any song ever performed. Jungkook and Taehyung sat side by side during a live broadcast that, at first glance, looked innocent. Two members of BTS casually talking to fans, laughing softly, reminiscing about old memories. But behind those smiles, behind the flicker in their eyes, was something that even the most devoted army could sense. A secret. A secret that felt too big to ignore. What if this wasn't just another casual V-Live? What if it was a goodbye? The broadcast began like any other, with Jungkook's soft laughter and Taehyung's calm tone filling the air. Yet as minutes passed, the atmosphere changed. Their voices grew quieter, their gazes more distant. Fans began flooding the chat, asking if they were okay. And then Jungkook said something that sent shivers across millions of screens worldwide. Sometimes, he whispered, you have to follow your heart even if it means walking away. Walking away from what? From music? From the group? From HYBE? Taehyung didn't answer immediately. His eyes glistened, his lips parted as if to speak, but no words came out. Jungkook looked at him, as if waiting for permission to say what they'd both been holding in. And then with a deep sigh, Jungkook added, there are things we can't talk about yet, but someday you'll understand. That was the moment the fandom broke. Social media exploded. What did he mean? Are they leaving? Did HYBE force them into silence? Within hours, clips of the live spread like wildfire. Hashtags like #JungkookTaehyungLive, #HYBE Panic, and #BTS Freedom dominated every platform. And while HYBE stayed silent, fans were left to piece together the truth behind what might be BTS's most emotional and mysterious broadcast ever. For years, Jungkook and Taehyung have carried the image of strength, two brothers who grew up under the same label, sharing laughter, tears, and sleepless nights. But lately things seemed different. There were fewer interactions, shorter lives, and an undeniable tension behind their smiles. Some fans whispered that it was burnout. Others believed it was creative frustration. But a growing number began to suspect something deeper, a quiet rebellion brewing behind the walls of HYBE. Could it be true? Could Jungkook and Taehyung, the heart of BTS's emotional soul, be considering leaving the label that made them global icons? To understand the gravity of that possibility, you have to go back. Back to the time when BTS wasn't the powerhouse it is today. When 7 young men lived in a cramped dorm dreaming of stages they thought they might never see. Back then it was raw passion, freedom, brotherhood. But as fame grew, so did the control. The schedules got tighter, the image became polished, and their every word started to be filtered through a system too big to fight. HYBE became a machine and BTS its brightest gears. Fans noticed the shift long ago. The spontaneous lives became scripted. The once chaotic energy of BTS's interactions started feeling rehearsed. And yet, in moments like this, those masks slip. Jungkook and Taehyung weren't idols that night. They were humans, fighting for air in a room that felt too small for their truth point. One of the most haunting moments came when Taehyung softly said, "I miss the days when music was just music." His voice trembled, not from weakness but from exhaustion. Jungkook nodded, eyes glistening. "I miss being able to speak freely," he added. Fans were stunned. What could that mean? Was HYBE restricting them from expressing themselves? Was there internal conflict between the members and the company? And most importantly, were Jungkook and Taehyung preparing to break free from it all? Behind the scenes, whispers began to circulate. Some insiders hinted that the tension between BTS's creative direction and HYBE's corporate demands had reached its peak. Jungkook, known for his perfectionism, reportedly grew frustrated with constant branding decisions that overshadowed his artistry. Taehyung, on the other hand, has always been a free spirit, an artist who values emotion over image. To him, music is personal. To HYBE, it's product. That clash, some believe, was inevitable. When Jungkook dropped his solo works and spoke about finally being able to express myself without limits, Fans cheered, but HYBE's reaction was muted. It was as if every word he said was carefully dissected, approved, or erased before reaching the public. But that night, during the live, there was no filter, no script, just raw emotion. T1 point. Jungkook looked straight into the camera and said, "No matter what happens next, please remember, our hearts never changed." The room fell silent. Taehyung reached over, touched his shoulder, and smiled faintly. But it wasn't the kind of smile that hides happiness. It was the kind that hides pain. Theories spread faster than truth. Some fans claimed they saw HYBE staff enter the live off-camera. Others insisted the live was cut off abruptly before the two could say more. Replays of the moment were analyzed frame by frame, every expression dissected like clues in a mystery. Did you see Taehyung's hand trembling? Why did Jungkook's tone suddenly drop? Who was he looking at off-screen? And then came the silence. HYBE released no statement, no denial, no clarification, just silence. A silence that said more than words ever could. In that silence, fans began to connect the dots. The emotional strain, the subtle hints, the repeated mentions of freedom, change, and doing what feels right. It all pointed to one possibility. Jungkook and Taehyung were preparing to step away, not from BTS as brothers, but from the corporate chains that had long held them back. But how could they leave? BTS isn't just a group, it's an empire. Their contracts, their image, their very names are intertwined with HYBE's structure. Leaving wouldn't just be a decision, it would be a revolution. And revolutions are never without cost. Yet, watching the way Jungkook's eyes burned with quiet defiance and Taehyung's soft yet unwavering calm, it was clear they were ready for that cost. Perhaps it's not about leaving BTS. Perhaps it's about reclaiming BTS. Reclaiming the soul of what they built before the world demanded perfection. Before HYBE turned their art into an industry. Before every emotion was turned into marketing. As the live came to an end, Jungkook looked at Taehyung one last time and said, "Whatever happens, we'll be okay." Taehyung smiled gently. "We always are." And then the screen faded to black. But that black screen wasn't an ending, it was a warning. A moment that told fans the storm was only beginning. Since that night, whispers of HYBE panic have grown louder. Insiders claim emergency meetings were held, contracts reviewed, statements drafted then scrapped. HYBE knows what the fans now know, that if Jungkook and Taehyung walk, they don't just lose two artists, they lose the heart of BTS. Could HYBE stop them? Maybe. But can anyone stop two souls who've already decided to be free? As the world waits, the fandom stands divided, half in fear, half in hope. But one thing is certain. Jungkook and Taehyung have reminded the world that idols are not machines. They are dreamers, fighters, artists who bleed, cry, and crave the same freedom they once sang about. And perhaps in that live they weren't saying goodbye to ARMY. They were saying goodbye to their cages. So what happens next? Will HYBE tighten its grip or finally let go? Will Jungkook and Taehyung break the system or rebuild it from the ashes? Only time will tell. But one thing is undeniable. Something changed that night. The air shifted, the illusion cracked, and beneath it, the truth began to shine. Stay tuned because this story is far from over. Comment your thoughts below. Do you think Jungkook and Taehyung will finally walk away from HYBE? Do you believe this is the start of their freedom or the beginning of another heartbreak? Share your opinions, hit that like button if you stand with them, and subscribe to never miss the next chapter in this unfolding BTS saga. Because one thing's certain, HYBE can control the music, but it can't control the truth.